Grocery store fruit is artificially ripened with a pesticide, and we have no way of knowing. If you've gotten fruit with uneven ripening or skin that doesn't match the ripeness of the fruit, the use of Ethephon could be the cause. The synthetic pesticide Ethephon is used by farmers, traders, and packers to artificially ripen conventional fruit that is picked early and distributed to grocery retailers throughout the country. Ethephon is produced by Bayer Crop Sciences subsidiary Rhône-Proulenc and is used on conventional produce such as apples, bananas, blackberries, blueberries, cantaloupes, cherries, coffee, grapes, grapefruit, mangoes, mandarins, peppers, pineapple, papayas, sugarcane, tobacco, tomatoes, walnuts, rice, cotton, barley, and wheat. Here's what stands out to me about it. When sprayed, Ethephon residues persist on the fruit peel and can enter the flesh and pulp. As a result, Ethephon can accumulate in higher concentrations in juices and wines. Ethephon was first registered as a pesticide with the EPA in 1973 and then classified as moderately acutely toxic by the oral, dermal, and inhalation routes in 1988. However, the EPA still allowed its use and recently renewed its approval in 2020. The EPA has admitted for 5 decades that people are exposed to residues of Ethephon in our diet. Based on their own estimated intake calculations, the EPA holds that only infants less than 1 year old could be of higher concern for Ethephon exposure. However, their tolerance residue data on a wide range of commonly eaten fruit and crops would suggest all Americans could be at a higher risk than they would disclose. Long-standing research demonstrates Ethephon residuals can reach the tolerance levels, and there's no continual testing or oversight to ensure they won't. The majority of the toxicity data on Ethephon comes from animal studies. While the doses given to the animals in many studies are higher than what humans are exposed to, the studies are alarming because they highlighted toxicity concerns, and according to the EPA, humans appear to be more susceptible to the clinical toxicity of Ethephon than experimental animals. One of the principal concerns with Ethephon in available small-scale human studies is that it's been observed to cause neurotoxic effects, especially cholinesterase inhibition. This leads to symptoms of overstimulation of the parasympathetic nervous system, such as increased hypermotility, hypersecretion, bradycardia, meiosis, diarrhea, and hypotension. This is only known to occur at Ethephon exposures well above the ADI, since the no observed adverse effect level for cholinesterase inhibition was 625 parts per million. The research would indicate that this isn't a concern to the general population based on current exposures to Ethephon. The lowest observed adverse effect level for any toxicity in human studies has occurred at intake levels as low as 1.5 to 1.8 milligrams per kilogram of body weight per day. The observed effects at these levels were in the digestive and excretory systems. Given the lack of research on humans and known effects on animals, one could question whether Ethephon poses hormonal, reproductive, and hepatological concerns that we don't know of yet. The European Food Safety Authority set the ADI of Ethephon at 0.02 milligrams per kilogram of body weight per day, while a joint task of Japanese, Swedish, and Dutch researchers established an ADI of 0 to 0.05 milligrams per kilogram of body weight per day on the basis of a no observed adverse effect level of 0.5 milligrams per kilogram of body weight per day. Given these health concerns, you'd be surprised to know that Ethephon has significant flaws in its effectiveness. Studies on the effect of Ethephon on fruit quality conflict, with some suggesting that naturally ripening fruit exhibits better sensory characteristics compared to artificially ripened fruits. Ethephon treatment can also change the vitamin and nutrient content of the fruit. Without realizing it, you've probably seen Ethephon treated fruit that ripened unevenly, and you also probably cut into fruit that looks ripe on the outside but isn't ripe on the inside. As a result, one of the biggest contributors to food waste with produce is linked to the use of these artificial ripening agents. There are other ethylene ripening agents on the market, and it's difficult to know all of them or how often each one is used. The Organic Standards Board does not allow Ethephon, but it does allow synthetic ethylene to be used as a ripening agent. It doesn't specify what form the synthetic ethylene is in though. When we buy from big box grocery retailers, there's no way of knowing if specific produce items have been artificially ripened and what residues of Ethephon remain in the produce. I don't share this message to make you stressed out or tell you to avoid grocery store food. I only learned about this recently and was shocked that it's never discussed and so difficult to find information on. When you buy from bigger grocery stores, prioritize buying in season, and if you want to avoid Ethephon, you could also buy organic. I recommend buying what you can locally and directly from farmers and learning to grow a few things yourself. That's why I have a free farm map on my website with over 3,300 local farms, ranches, markets, and stands across the country, and I also offer over 90 heirloom seed varieties. This is a topic that I'm just learning about, and I probably spent over 20 hours just making this video, so if you know anything about it, please let me know in the comments below.